Now, if you look at the architecture diagram of the ATCS, it's a very simple architecture. Basically, you need to install a traffic signal in the field, and you have to connect those signals to the traffic signal controller. Because if you have 4 approaches, you have to install 4 signal poles, and you have to connect those 4 poles to the traffic signal controller. And you need a detector, traffic detection camera. It can be camera, it can be radar, or something else, depends on the type of the detector that you're using, as I've mentioned before. And you need an internet connectivity, TCP link, something that connects your system to the server. And you require some browser-based GUI. As I have mentioned, you need to create an adaptive control interface so that you can access the junction, you can monitor the junction, you can actually control the junction. And of course, you require some algorithms. It can be a pre-designed algorithm like Scoot or SCAT, or an artificial intelligence-based optimizer. And you can also use traffic simulations, which is very interesting thing, which I'm going to explain in the coming slides. Along with that, you need a database where you can store the data, you can retrieve the data, because you're going to use the data to predict the future traffic trends. So in this adaptive traffic control system, what are the various modes of operation, how you can operate it? So as I've mentioned before, you can actually synchronize the junctions. So let's say that you see 2 traffic signals which are, let's say, 500 meters apart. So let's say that you have stopped at signal A, you have stood there for 100 seconds, and you got the green signal, and you move forward to the next signal. Again, you see another red indication which tells you to stop. It's actually kind of frustrating if you're a commuter, if you're daily going to office, if you're daily going to college. So what can we do? We can synchronize the route which is having a huge traffic. What you can do is, let's say that my traffic signal at let's consider 2 traffic signals, signal A and signal B. Let's say my signal A is starting at 9:00 0 seconds. Let's say that to cover the 500 meters, it takes for me, let's say, 1 minute. Now, what if I start the traffic signal B at 9 hours, 1 minute and 0 seconds? I will open my traffic signal exactly after 60 seconds. That is exactly after I reach the signal B. So I don't have to stop at B. So my signals got synchronized. So I don't have to wait for another signal. I can decrease my travel time. I can decrease my delays. Of course, you have vehicle actuation mode as well. As I've discussed in the evaluation of signals, vehicle actuation mode is a part of adaptive system, but for an isolated junction. If you don't consider a whole corridor for an isolated junction, yes, vehicle actuation mode is a very advantageous mode. And of course, you have adaptive modes. As I've mentioned, you can do the adaptation based on the detectors. Also, you can do the adaptation based on the simulation models. So you can see, the detector profile here. This is the data collected based on the detector. If you see the y-axis, it gives you total flow, which is traffic flow. On the y-axis, you see the time. So look at here, during the midnight at 12 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., the vehicles is very less. But if you see at 10 o'clock in the morning, you see huge traffic here. There's a peak here. And after that, there is a dull period. And after that, again, in the evening peak time, you see a lot of peaks here. So based on this, using this data, I can be able to, use my algorithm. I can use this input for my algorithm to get the adaptive timings. Also, you can see the photograph here. This is not the real photo that is taken at the site. This is basically the simulation of the junction that is actually running in the field. So here you can see the roads, you can see the vehicles on it, you can view vehicles as an input. And you can also see, since you can imitate the real world, since you are imitating the road network, since you are imitating the vehicles, why can't you imitate the signals as well? So you use that imitation of the real world, you can get a better strategy of the timings. So in the next few slides, I'm going to give you some of the case studies of all the modes that I have discussed in this particular slide. So this is related to Prayagraj Smart City. Prayagraj is basically Allahabad. So for Allahabad, there is a signal group from Balsan to Vivekananda. The distance between these two junctions is 3.2 kilometers. And there are 7 junctions actually in this 3.2 kilometers. 7 junctions within a span of 3 kilometers. Now, so you can say that approximately for every half kilometer, you can find a junction. Now imagine that a person traveling from Balsan to Vivekananda, he has to stop at 7 signals within a span of 3 kilometers. So usually it took for him 500 seconds to cross that 3.2 kilometers. 500 seconds is somewhere around 8 minutes or more than that to cross Balsan to Vivekananda. But what you could do is you can select a critical junction so that you can create a route. So from each junction, so you can see here, there is Balsan Chauraha. From Balsan to Indian Press, Balsan to Hindu Hostel, Balsan to Lok Seva. So for all the different signals, you have provided some offset. As I've mentioned, you know that how much time, you can consider an average travel time speed, which is 40 kmph for a regular urban area. So if it takes 40 seconds to reach from Balsan to Indian Press, yeah, you can give an offset of 40 seconds. So by the time you reach from Balsan to Indian Press, you already get the green time. So now, instead of moving from Balsan to Vivekananda in 485 seconds, you can reach it in just 288 seconds, which is 5 minutes. So you are actually saving 3 minutes per vehicle. When you think about the saving of time, it not only saves the time when you are stopping at the signal, you switch on the engine, it also costs a lot of fuel, it also causes a lot of pollution. And I'm talking about one vehicle in 5 minutes. Imagine what is going to happen for the whole day. Imagine what is going to happen for the whole week and the whole year and the years to come. That is how much advantageous deployment of adaptive traffic control system is. Now that makes your city smart. Now let's see the second case study, where I already told you the difference between vehicle actuation and the fixed timings. So if you fix some timing, if you observe this signal, you have the constant signal timing for a peak hour and non-peak hour. So let's say for peak hour, we have gone with 136 seconds. For non-peak hour, the timing is somewhere around 126 seconds. But if you deploy vehicle actuation mode, you can see that sometimes the timing is similar to the fixed time, but sometimes you can see the less time than the fixed time. That means you can save a lot of time. And this time can be actually used to increase the number of cycles per hour, and also you can throughput a lot more vehicles than in the fixed time. So you can make your city smarter, you can use your resources smarter way. And in Ranchi Smart City, the adaptive traffic control system has been deployed, which automatically in the Prayagraj Smart City, you can see the manual input of the values, right? But if you see Ranchi Smart City, all the offsets are actually getting changed on its own because of the deployment of the algorithms, artificial intelligence based algorithms. The offsets are getting changed because you know the travel time is actually different in different time periods of the day. For example, during night, it is different. During morning, it is different. At 6 o'clock, obviously you have 30 seconds as an offset. You look at 12 o'clock in the morning, you have only 50 seconds of the offset. So the offsets are keep on changing. The synchronization is also getting adaptive, when you run using artificial intelligence based algorithms. And coming to the adaptive mode based on the traffic simulation, you can actually imitate. So simulation is basically the imitation of the real world scenario. As I have mentioned, if you can actually imitate a road network, if you can actually imitate the number of the vehicles coming on it, why can't you imitate the signal timings? So my fixed signal timings has given me 136 seconds at that particular junction, but my adaptive cycle has given me 96 seconds when I run the simulation. Now look at what has happened because of that. Your speed has increased, your travel time has decreased, your stop delay has considerably decreased, your waiting time has decreased, and your total delay has also got decreased. So this actually tells you how advantageous the deployment of adaptive traffic control system is for the smart cities. Now, what is the state of art technology that we can use for this traffic control system? Basically, you can use various types of detectors and counters. So ATCC stands for automatic traffic counter and classifier. So actually you need to gather the information and you need to communicate that information to the public. So you need some counters. So you have various types of the counters like video counter, loops plus electric counters, laser counters. And if you come to detection technologies, so I don't want the traffic count, but I want the vehicle to be detected so that my signals can be changed. I can use different types of the detectors here, like inductive loops, magnetometers, video based. So all these serve the same purpose, but basically uses different principles so that you have a different types of accuracy. Now coming to the type of the detectors, as we have mentioned in the previous slide, all these type of detectors are basically works on different principles. So basically look at a camera. When you configure the camera, you basically create a virtual zones, and as soon as the vehicle arrives that virtual zone, the camera picks up that signal and sends to the traffic controller, and tells whether to cut off that timing or to increase the timing. You have radars, this is infrared systems, you have ultrasonic systems. Basically all these systems works on electromagnetic radiation and repulsion. So once you install those detectors, it basically sends electromagnetic signals to the vehicle, and once it hits the vehicle, it rebounds, receives that signal, so that it tells the traffic signal controller to adapt the signal timings. And you have loop detectors where you can actually install those loop detectors inside the road, and once the vehicle passes on that loop detectors, some signal gets activated, and that signal is sent directly to the controller, and it tells the signal controller to change the timings of the signal. And obviously, as I've mentioned, not only the devices that are installed on the field can count or use as a detector, but also your mobile devices that you're using on the vehicle can be used as a counter classifier or the detector of the vehicles. So if I summarize the adaptive traffic control system, basically it is evolved in such a way that we no more want to rely on the fixed timings. It takes the help of the detectors to collect the data to ensure that the traffic signal timings are as per the detection and nothing else. What happens with this kind of technology is it reduces the average delay, it improves the travel time, it reduces the congestion, and which ultimately reduces the fuel consumption and reduces the air pollution as well at the junctions. Now, let's talk about the important aspect of adaptive traffic control system deployment. Since the first traffic signal that was first developed was in 1860s in London, and we came a long way from that. And the current government has deployed smart cities. It has proposed 99 smart cities in phase one. In phase one, I'm saying. So there are more and more phases are going to come. More and more smart cities are going to come. The current government has proposed 99 smart cities spread across the India. Now, these are some of the examples of the smart cities. Lucknow is one of the smart cities. Prayagraj, again, Allahabad is one of the smart cities. Kanpur, Ranchi, Ujjain, Dehradun, Bareilly, Bihar Sharif. You have Surat. Even Chennai is proposed as a smart city. Tirupati is one of the smart cities. So 99 smart cities spread across the entire India is being proposed by the government. Now, this smart city has various modules. I have discussed the features of the smart city. You require smart mobility. You require smart management. You require emergency management. You require deployment of the smart enforcement. Now, for all these different modules are getting implemented for these various smart cities. And all the smart cities are basically government proposed. So government directly will not take up the project. It actually assigns that project to various MSIs, which is master system integrator. So some of the master system integrators of those smart cities are Technosys, which is a MSI for Lucknow, Honeywell, Larsen and Toubro, which is very famous, L&T. It actually takes care of Prayagraj Smart City. HP, again, it takes care of Dehradun. So all these master system integrators basically deploy the system on behalf of the government. And these master system integrators require OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, like EFCON, like ITS planners and engineers, like PTV. There are many companies that actually deploys this smart technology to the MSI, which MSI integrates as a whole and deploy it for the smart cities. And this is basically the future. You know how the technology is improving in a logarithmic scale. And currently, for the smart city, for the master system integrators, and for the original equipment manufacturers, everybody requires domain knowledge. It is not just about implementation of the technology. You also need to have the domain knowledge of traffic engineering, how you are going to use the algorithm, how you are going to tweak the parameters in the algorithm to make sure that the timings get more and more efficient. Currently, there are very, very, very less traffic engineers in India. And you know the amount of the projects that are going to come in the future. There are 99 smart cities, but I bet there are 99 traffic engineers that are deployed for all those smart cities. So people want somebody with the knowledge of traffic engineering for the smart city projects, be it master system integrator, be it OEM, be it the government itself. It wants somebody from the traffic background or the transportation background to come join their organization for the betterment of the system, betterment of the city, and ultimately the betterment of the country. So traffic engineering jobs are going to be hotcakes in the coming few years. If you are already a traffic engineer, your future is going to get better and better in the future. That's what all I'm going to say to conclude this webinar.